Hi everyone, this video is all about the configuration and running a P2P process in SAP system. The first part of the P2P process uh, we have already discussed, and the link is in the description box, so you can visit the link and get the process related information there. Though the configuration of P2P process, especially in the real-time environment, require consultant to make necessary configuration in logistics sides, such as first enterprise structure, which we have already created in this system, like enterprise structure in material management, like plant, storage location, purchasing organizations. These are some of the enterprise elements or units that has to be created. And in enterprise structure, the link is in the description box to see how to create the enterprise structure, so you can refer that link as well. So we have created two plants here. If you go to this navigation, we have created two plants, 1098 and 1099, New Delhi plant and Bangalore plant. And if you can click on any of the plants, under each plant we have a storage location or storage location. So under this New Delhi plant we have 3 storage location, and under 1099 Bangalore plant we have also 3 storage locations. And these plants, whether it is 1099 or 1098, it is already linked with our company code 1098, which is Saplan Learning Private Limited. Apart from that, we have also one purchasing organizations responsible for purchasing of materials from the vendor, and this purchasing, that is central purchasing organization, which is also linked with your company code as well as plant. So these are enterprise elements or organization units in material management that has been created. And we have also created one purchasing group. Purchasing group is the people are responsible to purchase the materials, and purchasing groups are working under the purchasing organizations. And if I can show you in OME4 code, I have created one purchasing group that is responsible people associated in procurement process in SAP. So this is the SAP is a purchasing group here. And apart from that, we have also, these are enterprise units, and in our finance side also we have created our company codes and business area that has already been created in the system. We have also created a business partner, that is our vendor. So if you can go to the vendor, I can view the vendor under the company code 1098, and our purchasing organization is also 1098. We can see list of vendors here. So many vendors are there, but we can consider this 5 and 6. Many vendors are created, 1, 2, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so we can use this 5 and 6 vendors. So vendor master data is already in place. Now coming to the material master. Vendor master, how to create the vendor master in SAP systems? We have already a particular session on that, and the video link is already in the description box. You can go and refer to that, how to create the business partner as a vendor. So in this case, we have also created one material masters, and to see the material master, go to the MM03, and our material master is, so I believe this one is our material master. It is already there. So this is the material master, and under this material master we have maintained this basic data, purchasing data, MRP data, general plant, storage data, accounting data. So these are some of the mandatory data you need to maintain. And how to create the material master, that I'll separately upload a video on how to configure and create the material master in coming days. You can refer to that also. So this is comes under your plant and storage location. This is the material master which has already been created. Now the necessary GL master in the finance side is also created. If I can show you here, go to the FS00 and you can see under assets we have general assets. We have our raw material stock account or inventory account, semi-finished goods, finished goods. So different stocks that you are purchasing from vendor, those respective GL account has already been created. Tax account has already been created here. And under liability side, your vendor related accounts payable account as well as your GRIR account and freight clearing account. So those are also created. And in the consumption point of view, we have also created the consumption, respective consumption account, that is raw material consumption, semi-finished good consumption and your finished goods. So those respective GLs is already been created. So these are the master data setups. So to run the P2P process, to run the whole cycle of P2P process, master data setup was required. So after settings these masters, now let's do some configuration settings in the logistic sides. So what are the configuration settings? First we'll do the configuration associated with the purchasing, such as setting in the purchase order, and configuration associated with the goods receipt as well as invoice receipt. So if you can go to the SPRO reference IMG, and if I go to the material master, scroll the page bit down, material management. In material management, purchasing. So purchase order is there. Let's check what are the settings required. Number ranges, document type, these are the standard settings that you will check it. Once is tolerance set. So tolerance adjust or manage the difference between two documents. What are the price difference or quantity difference that has to be adjusted or maintained in the tolerance. So set tolerance limit for price variance. So here we need to set, copy this AC and the PE. The two standard tolerance key which is already there in the system. I'll just copy this both and link this tolerance scheme to my company code. So our company code is 1098. How much tolerance the system will take it? That is 10% percentage wise given up to 20% differences. The system can accept the tolerance. Here also for AC, that is the cash discount. And both the cash discount and price variance tolerance is already set in the system. Now I save this. So tolerance setting is done. After that, there is something called plant parameter. So plant specific settings are there that has to be maintained, and that is maintained on the inventory activities. If you go back and check in inventory management, or you can separately execute a transaction code that is known as your OLMB, maintain the plant parameter. So here is the plant parameter. So under inventory management, copy any standard plant. I copied 0001 and you link with your plant and maintain all the plant. Don't make any changes unless otherwise your customizing settings required. So these are some of the standard parameters that we need to maintain in the plant. So I have two plants, so I will maintain these two. Again copy this and maintain for another plant, that is 1099, which is Bangalore plant. After that, again we'll do some settings under a good receipt. So good receipt tolerance limit is also there. If you go to the goods receipt here, we have set tolerance limit. Okay, and copy this B1, B2. These are the standard, that is order price and quantity variance. If there is any difference between the price and quantities, B2, as well as VP. You take this 3, moving average price, which is maintained in the raw material cases. So copy this, put the company code here, maintain. Again enter another company code, same company code again for the VP and E2. So all the details and save it. After copying and making the settings, these are all MM related settings. that has been done. Another one is this is for inventory and for price variance, sorry, for invoice verifications. Invoice verification, we need to set the tolerances also. So if you go to these invoice verifications, or there is there is a transaction code that is known as your for invoice verification OMR6. Put slash n OMR6. So this is the tolerance limit for the invoice related. If there is invoice values or invoice price or taxes has some differences, okay, with your GR or your PO documents, that has to be managed here. So in these cases, I'll take what are the standard, I'll take it here. I'll take the price variance, PP, and also estimated price, PS, and ST. I'll take this ST and BD. Small differences if there is any. Copy this and link with my company code. My company code is 1098. So I entered all the settings. So after maintaining all the tolerances for plant parameter, goods received, invoice received, as well as your purchase order, then we need to check there is something called automatic status change that is in the invoice side. So if you go to the logistic invoice settings, that is under the material management, if you go to the logistic invoice verification and transaction code is OMRV. If you go to this incoming invoice, here something is known as set check for duplicate invoices. That has to be updated. Okay, so check if there is any duplicate invoice, how your systems will find out that is the duplicate invoice, so that it will block that particular payment. Okay, so just copy this and put 1098 company code. And while checking the duplicate invoice, system will check under which company code, what is the invoice reference or invoice number and invoice date. So everything will get changed, checked. So that setting has to be done. And also then we have something called tax, because when invoice comes into picture, tax definitely comes in. Okay, so that tax setting is here. Maintain default values for tax code, and for that we have already set up a tax settings in the SAP systems. We just have to add the tax code for that. Let's check this and go to new entry, put your company code 1098 and put the tax code which is already created here, 6% input tax 1098. Okay. Input tax means when you purchase, that is purchase tax, so save it. So this setting is also important and it is mandatory also, because when you process the invoice, tax definitely comes at the time of your invoice. Next one is we'll do some, because whenever you do postings, that will get updated. It has a financial impact. Those impact will be realized or seen in Fico model, that is in finance model. So for that, whatever the document number ranges has to be over here we need to set, that will also reflect in the finance side. For that, we need to also maintain the number ranges. Okay, so define number ranges. You can go in a several step. Otherwise, you go to the OBS 7 transaction code. There are so many accounting documents are there. And for good receipt, we have a document number or document type that is called doc WE. That is good receipt. So under the good receipt, by default number range is 50. I'm not going to change this number range. Let it be there. And this number range has to be linked with your company code. And number interval has to be ordered. 50 is not maintained over here. So I need to maintain the 50 here. And here will be financial year. And if I can give any number ranges, which is let's maybe 1001, 1001 to 1050. Maybe I'll give 1100. Save it. So for WE, that is good receipt, necessary number ranges has been maintained under that particular document type WE. And for when you do the good issue to the customer, for that also separate document type is also there. And for inventory document WI is also there. So for that also, if you want 49, under 49 also you need to maintain 49 and clear 1100 to 1150, let's say. Save it. So these are some of the number ranges which is already done. And another one is whenever you process the invoice against the PO, the vendor is going to give the invoice to you. When you post that invoice in SAP system, the respective accounting entry will also be shown in your accounting. Here, that is your financial accounting. For that, we have another important document type that is called RE, for which you need to maintain the number entries. These are the standard document type is already there in the system 02, and we'll check it whether 02 is already configured in the system or not. So 03 is there, 02 is not available. So I'll maintain the 02. With the finance year, this number is specific to this particular year, but you can maintain the same number in this for different year as well. So this particular finance year will just maintain the 1151 to 1200. These are the number ranges, just random number ranges I am putting over here, but in the real-time system, number ranges will be discussed by your business team. So they will give the necessary idea what are the number ranges they want to use it. And they manually entered in the production server. We configured all the materials and assign the valuation classes through the integration. So there is something called integration we need to do, because FI and MM has to be integrated. Two component has to be integrated. And integration can be realized through a transaction code known as OBYC. OBYC. Before that, I'll show you what are the GLs that has been created to support the P2P process. And I have already shown though here. If you go to the FS00, here expenses for consumption point of view, we have this GL. Okay, and when you receive the stock account, you credit the GRR account. That is the accounting entry, right? So stock account we have created raw material stock. When you purchase the raw material and when you get that deliveries, so when you receive this stock, you do post the good receipt in the system, right? So for that, raw material stock account will be debit and your GRR account will be credit. So GRR account comes under your liability, which is an open account, open item. Okay, it's a clearing account, so open item, managed account. And if there is any freight charges or delivery charges, that has to be there, and both the accounts under the liabilities, which will be an open item. So all these accounts should be linked to our integration. Okay, that is to the chart of accounts in automatic postings. So this is nothing but the auto, so that is integration. So we will run the P2P process. So we only integrate the stock account to GRI account for inventory purpose. So for inventory, we have certain different transactions here, or different procedures have a different transaction keys are there, or accounting keys are there. So for inventory postings, BSX is the standard transaction key. Double click here, link with the chart of accounts, and we can go to the valuation class, and there is a valuation modifier is there. See, when you do the OBYC or integration done on broadly at two levels. One is a MIGO level, that is GR, good receipt, and another one is posting invoice level, that is MIRO level. Okay, so in FIMM integration, there are broadly three accounts: inventory account, GRR account, and vendor accounts are required. So stock account picked up from this BSX code. So in this case, if you want to use the valuation class, you can use the valuation class over here. Go to the posting key. If posting key is already there, so valuation class you can add. I'll use the standard valuation class as a thread because I'm doing it for raw material. Okay. Save it. I'm only right now doing only raw material, but you can do for other material stocks as well. And we'll do the GRR linkage also. GRR is the WRX. This one. It's a GRR clear account. For that, you need to link the GRR account. So select it here. There is something called account valuation modification is there, which has to be created in our SAP system. Go to this PRO reference IMD and your materials management, valuation and account assignment. And if you go to this account determination without wizard, group together valuation area. So if the same GL account will be used by multiple plant, for that one valuation grouping code you need to create. So I have two plant are there for which I need to create one valuation code. Let's say I'll use the valuation code as a 00x001. That is pretty definable. You can create this and save it. This is your valuation grouping code, or otherwise known as valuation modifier. So this valuation modifier you can add it here x01, and valuation class I'll use for only raw material. You can use other valuation class as per your requirement and link your GRIR clearing account. So GRIR account. Now you save it. Okay. And save it. Input tax also there, but input tax account determined from the FI setting based on your transaction code through OB40. That setting is already done while we have done that settings, tax settings. And then vendor account is determined from your PO document, so there is no issue. So broadly, accounts to be called at the time of make one Miro cases. Okay. So apart from, there may be some other transaction called your offsetting transactions with respect to cost center, consumption related transaction. So there are different type of accounts which will be there and which will be discussed in details. There is a separate integration topic we'll discuss very soon, and that video will come very soon, and you can go through that for the integrations. So where we'll explain in details what is valuation modifier, valuation classes, what are the different general modifications that has been used, what are the different master data setups that we have to do, and what are the different offsetting entry, or in what scenarios that offsetting entry comes into pictures. Those things we'll discuss very soon. Now I'll create a purchase order. So to create the purchase order, we'll use a transaction code ME21N, or else you can go to the logistic here, materials management, purchasing, purchase order, and create. So to create a purchase order, ME21N. So your vendor is in place, and I'll create a standard. My purchasing organization is 1098, purchasing group SAP, and company code is 1098. If you enter it, now select the vendor. Let's say I'll select the vendor 5 and our materials. Whatever the materials we have used, that material you can assign here. And after the materials, so this is the material PO quantity. PO quantity, let's say quantity. And the net price, for that, if the price condition record is created, system will automatically take the price from the purchase information record or from the material masters. So if you manually put the price, let's say price is 1000, and with the currency INR, plant is 1098, and storage location, since it is a raw material, so I'll put the raw material storage. After putting, enter all the details here. Okay. And then after entering all the details, now you check here material groups and your quantity here, 10 quantities, and delivery schedule. So I have not done, but it's showing 29th of December is the delivery, because it has taken from the calendar, okay, factory calendar. But if you are doing the delivery today itself, we can change that date as well. There is no issues. So these are some of the important. Now you save it. Now your standard purchase order has been created here. So this is the purchase order 500022400. Against this purchase order, so purchase order will be sent to your vendor, and the vendors going to send the goods. And when you receive the goods, you will do the inventory, that is your good receipt, that is MIGO. Okay, so to do the MIGO, you'll go to the inventory management here, good movement, MIGO is here. So good receipt against a purchase order, so MIGO purchase order is known. So against the good receipt, add this purchase order which is already there, and add the planned also, and all the information purchase order will be populated to this good receipt. And you can see the material here, quantity here, and the movement type is also associated here, purchase order, and against from which vendor we are giving. So this is the vendor, so all the details are there. And after I do this item, okay, now first check if everything is fine. So document is okay, it is showing. Okay, so when you receive the goods, we know that there will be an accounting impact, right? So here a material document will be generated. Now you post it. Now here, this is the material documents. This is the material document which is created. Okay, and this material document contain all these informations, like what are the accounting entries and all, everything you can see here. So material document, you can check it separately. If you go back, you can check it in MB03. So if you go to the inventory here, material documents, MB03, this is your material documents. Go to the overview. So this is the materials against the plant which you have received under this movement type. And here if you go to the accounting document, you can see this accounting raw material stock account debited with 10,000, GRR account is also credited. Okay, and this document is the finance document. 1001 is the finance document, and this one is your material document, 5 all zeros 2. Okay, and accounting document, respective accounting document is generated 1001, and through that document type WE, that is goods receipt. Okay, and for that also we can see this in finance side. It will if you go to the material, so this stock, whatever the stock we have received, that is 10 stock, we can check the stock also in the material masters. So if you go to this material master, now stock will get updated over here. You can go to this accounting tab also and check the stock. Total stock is 10 with the total value is 10,000. That you can also check it. Okay, and in accounting side, so if you open another page in accounting side, in the vendor BL3N, go to the vendor line item, this is your GL account. Which GL account it is, let me check. This is the Sundry Credit freight clearing account, or maybe GRR account. So GRR account will be credited and your stock account is debited. Okay, so if you can check the stock account here, let's say raw material stock account, and here you add your GRR account. Now execute, you can see the accounting entry here. Okay, this is a W document type and amount, so both the accounts has been created. That is one aspect. Another aspect is, if you go to this accounting entry, so against this document, this finance document is created. If you go to again environment, document environment, you can go to this relationship browser, different documents. Okay, so this is the accounting document which is created, and this accounting document is your 1001, which is created against this material document 5 all zeros 2, and this material document is created against the purchase order, which is 4500022400. This is the document flow, so that you can see it. So these are some of the, so we have done the MIGO, that is our goods receipt is done. After the goods receipt, we'll go to the post the invoice, saying that vendor has already sent one invoices, and that invoices has to be posted, and that is logistic invoice verification, document entry, and Miro. And when you post the invoices, you just show the invoice date here, and invoice, so you post the invoice against the purchase order. So purchase order reference, add the purchase order over here. So our purchase order is 45000 22400. That is our purchase order, right? So this purchase order, just allocate it, go to the allocation, and select it, adopt it. So that your amount 10,000 with the quantity 10 against this purchase order has been reflected. Now your CS balance is 10,000. Input tax is 6%. So you need to add the tax, calculate the tax. So 10,600 is the total amount. The tax amount is 600, right? So this is added. Now balance is 0 here, and you can simulate. So whenever you post the invoice, what is the entry? Your GRR account will, which was credited at the time of stock inventory postings, it is debited now. And associated input tax 600 also debited, and vendor will get credited with the 10,600. And you can, on the material management side, invoice is posted. Okay, so that invoice number is 1, all zeros 1. That is your invoice. Now, against this invoice will also be reflected in your finance side, right? If you go to the finance side, you can check it. Your GRIL balance, everything would be shown. So now GRIL account is 0. If you can check it in a bill, BL3N, your GRIL account balance will be 0. Now, if you see this GRIL account, because it is debited and credited, so the balance will be 0. See here, balance is 0. Now, and we'll check the vendor line item also. You can check the vendor line item in FBL1N. So /n FBL1N. In this case, this is your vendor, and you can see the vendor line item. So just check this vendor line item. Now here 10,600 is, which is credited here. Okay. And we can go. Okay, this is, and you can check the reconciliation account also. You can check the table also, aspect tables and all. So these are the whole, and whenever you make the payment, this is RE document. That is, the invoice was posted in the material management side. So, and this is open item, that is red open. So if you make the payment of 10,600 to the vendor, so to make the payment, we can use that -20, -53, posting the payment. So you can make the payment, and your bank account involved. So bank account will be credited here, right? So let's say whether we have created a bank account, it's created, and I am making the payment of 10,600. Value date, you can add it here, and text your payment, and which is the vendor account. So vendor account is 5 only, so you can add this vendor account 5 and make the payment. So against which document you want to make the payment, you can do, or else go to the process open item. Now this is 10,000. Okay, so this is the payment that you need to do. So just simulate it. So your bank account credit to the vendor. Now you post it. So payment is done. So payment document, clearing document is generated. That is 401. And you can check it in back. You will see here. So in ABL or in your invoice, ABL 3N vendor invoice. If you see here, open item, So in your open item, nothing will be there, or in the vendor line item also. Here you can see, or else in the FBL vendor FBL1, and under this here open item, nothing will be there. See, nothing is going. It is showing the clear item because that has been cleared. Execute. So this is clear item. Okay, so it is green in color. That is, it is already cleared. So KZ was the vendor invoice, and RE is the, so KZ is the vendor payment. RE is the vendor invoice, which was posted in from the material management side. So this is completely P2P process, procure to pay process. In the coming days, we will discuss the integration topic, which is more in details way. So what are the different aspect of it? Thank you so much.